and his successor may be his sister Kim Il Sung, who is or Kim Il Yun. Kim Il Yun is like maybe the first female ruler of North Korea. However, it's Mr. Kim's heart attack was most severe, and the 30-year-old ruler of North Korea may have died. So it is they cut back on those Big Macs. Maybe people now is the time to get more vegan. For some people, don't be like Kim Jong Un. So, perhaps a bit of humor. So, a little points there. Also, a depressing note in the South China Morning Post about one writer was debating whether the United States would collapse in a few years. Don't bet on it. The U.S. is here to stay for another 100 years, probably, maybe another 500 years. This is a very stable country. This is like the first, they've had plagues before in the 19th century. This is the first big plague of the 21st century. They also had big epidemics, bigger ones after World War One. So this is the first big one this century. We have pretty good control of our illnesses, and controlling that stuff. It is strange it even hit the United States as hard as it did. Maybe so much travel worldwide. Yeah, one guy eating a bat in China. That's so much misfortune. Maybe I agree with Paul McCartney. Maybe eating bats should be legal after all. Shouldn't you just bats? People who like bats are strange. Then again, I don't know. So I will say something. Uh, it is nice that COVID-19 is starting to die down, but the South is clearly opening up, but the North it's a little slower. I think are opening up in Pennsylvania, New Jersey before New York. New York will still be Mr. Closed, but or be consensus out of those three states, and then probably after Trump lay down the law a little more, it's slowly going to open up. And Wonder Woman, in the comic news, Wonder Woman, its director Patty Jenkins and the DC people commented, "We are dedicated to getting this film out soon, but the movie Scoob, like the new Scooby Doo movie, may be sent to streaming services. So can't get your Scoob right now. Just save it for later." And yeah, too bad. And then you have the comic book industry is set to reopen soon. Small shops receiving their government help, and then if they, and then DC and Audi Press did that thing to help comic books. So some shops receive benefits from those guys. Little auction of exclusive comic books, and then I really kind of think it's DC comes out later this week, and it's the first new comics hit the stores that are open, and then probably Marvel start near the end of May. Then the comic book stores open up. It's really on whether your store is a small store like a strip mall, which can be open, but it would just be under certain things, or whether your store's like in a outdoor shopping center, yeah, or a mall, like a mall. Malls and outdoor shopping centers can't actually be open, but a strip mall can. But kind of wanted somebody to, yeah, stick to that. But then you can just have fun. So, so anyway, uh, uh, and now on to the comic books. The comic book we're reviewing today is Big Bang #1. This is from New Company. This is from indiecomics.com. It is the new home of Gary Carlson's Big Bang. And it is actually it is actually it is actually it is actually like a comic book which has been on and off again. Let me see, according to this thing in the back. On and off again. Ooh, sorry to be boring. Since his Megaton days. Didn't help me. On and off again since his Megaton days at Omni Press. This comic book, this group of comic book bunch has been sort of on and off again for years and years and years and years. This was Megaton Comics, his own comic book company, Caliber Press, October Comics, Image Comics, Big Bang Comics. You know, his Big Bang comic books, his own, loosely affiliated with Image Comics, AC Comics, and Pulp 2.0 Press, which made some issues. So this guy was a huge pioneer of the independent movement, and is friends with Eric Larson and me and most of the Image Comics crew and most people in independent comics. This guy's a writer and in a major writer in the comic book industry. And the thing about Big Bang is it's a celebration of the old comic books like Superman and Captain Marvel, and it's a nice comic book to read whenever they are sort of come out, and they're like enjoyable, and they sometimes they make they're funny comics to read. Like you got Ultiman as the Superman archetype, and you have um Night Watchman as the Batman archetype. Almost reminds me of the um the Batman from the animated Batman, or the Dark Knight Vision, rather than the comedic old joke like that's they did in the '60s, or the or Bob. It's a little also almost like Bob Kane, so it's like a Bob Kane-ish, Frank Miller-ish thing. So I kind of like the that's this thing. It's like, since it's the first one, you have all the major characters they draw. They have Thunder Girl, which is a little like Mary Marvel. They have Night Watchman, who's like the Batman type, and Ultiman. I kind of liked um this comic book. This I'm not going to mention anything, but this comic book has been receiving some harsh treatment and lately from critics of the comic book. So I will actually say, um, like Big Bang deserves to exist. Maybe just lay off Gary. So I don't want anybody thinking I'm any rogue media man, but I would prefer him laid off. Then again, I don't want anybody like Gary sort of thinking anybody's. So don't worry. Won't mention it to you. Just don't worry about it. So I know. Don't read the comic book, Josh. It's not like they're good things. In fact, go back and study history again. It's not like I wouldn't do that either. I might do that later. Anywho, tomorrow I'll have the review for Big Bang Adventures 2. So I would give Big Bang Adventures #1, Gary Carlson and gang, 3.5 out of 5. Basically, it can't be perfect, but I basically am letting you have a good review. So try not to piss him off. So I basically will think that so basically for the last 5 minutes of the show, I will basically do a little thing where I talk about some things. I don't know whether I'll be at Monteco Comic Fest or any upcoming things, because COVID-19 is not quite over yet. If it's over, I will be at Monteco Comic Fest. Probably because I even received word from my management I could do that affair, so I could probably do that. Also, I don't know about Great Philadelphia Comic Con this year, but next year I might be able to do it if the governor of Pennsylvania or the county seat of Montgomery County says those can happen. I'll be there. So you'll get to meet me and buy my books at either one of those. Basically, if COVID-19 is over, at least one. And now to wrap things up, I'll just say a word about the upcoming Shazam 2 movie, possibly back to filming in a few months. So from all of us at Comic Book Business News, that's a wrap.